Hello there. Happy Thursday to all of you when you see this. So great to be here with you again on a live this week. I'm here at a friend's place with a friend's two gorgeous dogs who may or may not run in and out of our conversation around about now. So just sending them a little bit of love and love to share them and the space with you as well. But I also I've been feeling all week, because you might have seen me doing a lot of posts around manifesting what we want at the moment. And particularly I think, as someone who, I've worked with a lot of wellness-based business owners and service-based business owners over the last 10 years or so, helping them to be more of themselves in their business, to develop more confidence in putting themselves out there in the world, particularly in the startup phase of business when we need to put ourselves out there. And, I help you to build resilience in doing that and in navigating the practical business nuts and bolts, right? So that you can make a bigger difference in the world and live a more fulfilling, abundant life that you love. And in the process of doing that through my own business and working through other people's organizations and businesses as well, I've often worked with literally thousands of women at this point on their mindset and what's getting in the way for them in creating and attracting more abundance through their wellness businesses. Some of you have worked with me in that, and you will know about some of the mindset and breakthrough and energetic work that I've done with people around that. But for some other of you, I just thought I'd give you a little bit of an introduction because you're newer to me and might know a little bit less about what I do in that respect. So I'm catching you up to speed. But yeah, so one of the things that I've often sort of heard over and over again, particularly from women who are motivated towards wellness and service-based businesses, is one of the things that holds us up is that we find it hard to attach to money sometimes and to give money a purpose, because it's something for us that has often had negative associations with it, or we've had a negative relationship with it, right? So it's something that we've sort of, in some respects, subconsciously, there are reasons that we can push it away a little bit. But also, one of the most important things that we need to do is kind of assign it a purpose as well. Because if you want more money to come to you, then you have to get your heart involved, and you have to get your life purpose and your passion involved, and your sense of, like, what do you want to do in life for fun as well? Like, if you can connect in your heart in that respect and give money more of a purpose, then more of it can flow to you and from you, and you can be more in that flow, right? So what I wanted to do today is give you 10 questions relating to specific areas, which will just help stimulate you to connect a little bit more to your heart and to bring a little bit more purpose to money. So as if you need a bit of a boost at the moment to bring more in and bring more abundance in, then this might just be just what you need, these 10 questions. So I'll jump into those. I'm also going to give you a little chance to participate and just make this light and fun a little bit. So for each one, I'm going to give you a little symbol as well. So if it kind of rings true for you that maybe it's a particular area that you're like, oh yeah, I would need some support around that one, then I'm going to give you a little emoji or a symbol that I will invite you to pop in the comments. So feel free to do that as well, and that will help me understand what you need as well, and then better support you too. So hello, Angela has just joined us. Hello, welcome, lovely, great to have you here. And I can't see just yet, without my laptop's behind me, who else is on there, but I'm sure you'll pop up in a second. So that would be great. So one of the first questions that I wanted to ask you is just around, you're welcome, Angela, you're so welcome. So one of the first questions I wanted to ask you is around gifts and gifting. Have you ever had a time where you've had a loved one, maybe it's a child, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a family member or someone around you that you kind of felt bad because you wished that you had more resources to give them, to support them in that moment. Like maybe you wished that you could buy them a plane ticket to go to an event in another state, or to see family when they were sick, or something like that. Or maybe it was just you wanted to be able to give them, like, maybe their love language is like presents and material stuff, right? So maybe you wanted to be able to buy some beautiful big present for a friend, but maybe you didn't have the resources to do so at the time. But one of the things I've found really, really helpful, and I've found my clients have found really helpful, one of the first things you can think about is, who in your life would you be able to, like, just give little gifts to like that when you need it? And what kind of gifts would you like to be able to give them? There's a first question. If this one rings true for you, feel free to like find the little present emoji and pop that in the comments. So yeah, what gifts would you be able to give? Now the next one might be a little bit familiar to you. Might be one that you've heard a little bit about if you've been in the business world for a bit, because this is about our legacy. Yeah, this is kind of one of the bigger ones. This is one of the more heart connected ones, because this is why we're all here. Yeah, we have a specific purpose and we have a message and something that we want to bring to the world. And this is that chance to reflect on this question. So what is the legacy that you want to leave? What is the thing that you want to build? Is it that you want to build a clinic or a wellness practice in a specific place? Is it a program? Is it a charitable venture? Is there something else that you would like to be able to give back? So how does your legacy fit into that picture? This is just a quick one to answer there. And I'm just realizing I don't think I assigned a symbol to our legacy. But if you want it, if legacy resonates, capital L, there's a good one to be contemplating. That will certainly help bring in some extra abundance to really get clear and specific around what you want to create in that one. And when you do, like, really think about the actual details, right? What do you want the center to look like? What colors? And is it going to be, how many rooms is it going to have? How many people are going to be there? What are they doing there? You know, all these little details, just flesh it out and get really specific. Okay, so that's legacy. Now the next question is around travel. Where in the world would you go if money was not an issue? Where in the world would you go for fun right now? I would love you to make a little list of all the beautiful places that you would like to go that might even be on your vision board at present. This is an opportunity to reflect on that again and think about, you know, update the list now. Where would you go to in the world to, where do you really want to see and hang out in the world? If that's one that is particularly relevant to you, if it's places that you want to go, maybe pop a little aeroplane in the comments for me if you feel to, and that will let me know if that's a point of resonance for you. Now, moving on from travel, because what we want to do when we travel, a lot of the time, sometimes it might be work for some of you, I imagine, and then sometimes I imagine there might be wanting to have fun as well, right? So I'm tying in fun into this one as well. If you had an unlimited number of resources right now and money and could just fly anywhere you wanted, what else could you do for fun right now? Because there's lots of things that maybe even we've done locally, and sometimes, you know, you get a bit like, oh, I think I've done everything in my hometown, or I've done all those things. But have you thought about doing that thing in another country? Like, have you ever thought about what it would be like to eat pizza in Napoli, or to go ice skating in Canada somewhere, or what else? See a movie in Paris? Like, all these things that we've done, like, imagine just being able to do that in another country, right? Where would you want to go do something fun, but somewhere else other than somewhere that you've never been before? There's another one that really helps stimulate your passion and joy for life, and will help you really, you know, in the way that I was manifesting these amazing multi-million-dollar houses to house sit the last little bit, will help pretty quickly magnetize some resources and opportunities to you, I'm finding. So fun. Feel free to like type a little active emoji of some description, like one that, you know, maybe speaks to the kind of activity you want to do. If you want to go ice skating or skiing or go for a swim or sit on a little island, feel free to put one of those in there. Next, now the tricky ones that are a bit more heavy. Debts. If your business was generating enough money that you could pay off absolutely all of your debts, HECS debts, study debts, credit card debts, maybe home loans, how would your life be different right now? Beautiful. Angela's just put in a little plane. Awesome. Epic. So yeah, if you could pay off absolutely all of your debts, what else would you be able to do in life? Maybe it is jump on a plane and go somewhere. What other possibilities would that afford you? What freedom will that afford you if you had paid off all your debts? That's another thing to contemplate and write down your answers to. What would life look like instead, minus those debts? If there's any of those to deal with, perhaps you might like to put a little, I think there's an emoji for a red cross in there. That could be a good indicator if you've got something going on there that you'd like to get rid of and like support with. Please feel free to pop in that little emoji in there. Following on from that is bills, right? If we had an unlimited amount of money coming through our business and coming to us to pay off all of our bills, again, what could you do instead if all your bills were just magically taken care of and fixed because you had the resources to do it? What else would you be able to do in life instead right now once those bills are resolved? That's another one to have a think about and write down. And I think there's an emoji for a little infinity symbol. And there's a reason that I've given you an infinity symbol for this one, because I want to give you a little insight that goes with bills as well, right? Because one of the things that I've found over the last few years, particularly with wellness, working with wellness practitioners, is that sometimes we can kind of do this thing where we kind of put a hold on any time that money gets low and then there's bills and things due. It's like we kind of hoard our resources and keep them there, and we don't want to pay it out to people because we're worried that there's not going to be enough coming in. And then we kind of hold it there and hold on to those resources, and then we stop doing things like paying those bills or, you know, buying services from other practitioners that we need or things like that. And we can get into a bit of a pattern around that of kind of hoarding and holding the resources. But the trouble with what that does is that makes us different to, you know, the multimillionaires in the world, is that abundance is meant to be like an infinity symbol. It's meant to be like a give and receive of flow, right? So money needs to flow through us and abundance needs to flow to and through and for us, like in this endless cycle. So there will be resources going out and resources coming back in. And when that is going on, this requires trust of us in that if there's something that needs to be paid, that the universe is conspiring to show up to give us the resources needed to pay that, right? As well as if we get really clear by answering the kind of questions that I'm talking to you about in this live, if you get really clear about what else your heart really wants that money and those resources for, then it can come to you. The universe is going to do everything it can to bring it to you. So that's a good one, I think, I just wanted to provide that little insight to just hopefully help you reestablish a little bit of flow and trust in the flow again. And health is a flow on from that one, because that's one of the first things when we're worried about money, when we're either just starting a business or if we've gone through a bit of a life challenge or something like that. One of the first resources, there's actually statistics on this that it's kind of proven as well, that one of the first extras that goes when income goes down is us spending on our health and extra stuff to do with our well-being. Yeah? So the next question that I wanted to address is a self-love and a well-being question. So I want you to just take a couple of breaths for a moment and just let go of any tension or stress or anxiety that came with thinking about the debt and the bills for a second. We'll just let all that go. Allow your love and your heart to just come back in, and your soul energy to just flow through you again. Beautiful. Just clearing any energy that's not ours, that we don't need from this as well. Just feeling it, so I'm just doing a little energy stuff while we're on here as well. And I just want you to now think about your health and well-being. What extra resources would you access right now if you had an unlimited budget for your well-being and for your health? What practitioners would you see? Perhaps maybe, in the process of going to expos and being a part of groups, you've seen amazing things like, Kangen water machines that can help make really high quality water for you. Or, I often one of the things one of the supplements I love is Mason's mushrooms and all the blends that he does. And often there's people who do supplements and things like that you might go, oh, I really want those. But we all know that supplements in MLMs, for one, aren't always cheap. So sometimes it's one of the first things that if money is an issue, these can be the things that go, or that we don't end up doing. We don't end up booking that massage or that counseling session or the coaching session or whatever the thing is that we need. So what I want to do with this question is have you just think about, with unlimited budget for your wellness, what do you need that money for to help support your well-being? Feel free to watch this again after we're doing this video, and you might want to then write some extra notes then as well, just so make sure that you capture all these wonderful insights as you have them, and particularly if you find that I'm going too fast at all. But yeah, if health is something that resonates, that you need more abundance and flow for, pop a little love heart in the comments for me, and I will know that that's something that we can support you with. Beautiful. Now, programs, professional development of all forms. So if you had, and your business was generating for you, an endless budget to be able to buy whatever study that you needed right now, to buy whatever coaching and business support programs that you need right now, what programs would you be buying? What ones would you want to access? What extra study would you want to do to help you be more of you and achieve your business goals and any personal goals that you have right now? So there's another one to have a little think about. Which programs would you be doing? What training or study? If that's one that you are wanting to manifest more support for, pop a little book of some description, if you can find the emoji for that, pop a little book in there. And again, I'll know that's something that you might want some support for. I've also popped a question. You'll see that I put a survey for us earlier in the group for if you want to provide some feedback or support about what offerings you'd like to see in the Women in Wellness Leadership group, or She Lives the Life She Loves, and what support you'd need. I've actually popped a question now in that survey around specifically this as well, if you need extra support around that, around the financial side of it and the investment side of it. There's a question in there as well. So just to give you a heads up on that, and that survey is there if you feel to offer your feedback as well. I would love that, and it will certainly help us develop some really cool stuff for you in this group as well. So what else? Feel free to, for the two of you who are on here, I can't see who else is on here, but welcome to whoever else has just dropped off from us as well. But yeah, if you have any questions, certainly feel free to pop them in here and I'll address them before we jump off today. But the last thing that I wanted to just say about, that's sort of the 10 areas right there that I was going to talk about today. But one more thing I just wanted to say when it comes to helping to take out the overwhelm that goes with creating our budgets and manifestation and abundance. One of the things that I found really great to do, which can help shift us back into the infinity flow of life again, is to actually go and do some research on what it's actually going to cost to now all these things that you've just listed down and thought about. Now's the time to go do some Google work. And from that Google work, you can do things like you search flight costs, for example. I remember that once upon a time, that's hilarious. That little ding behind us is actually my Forex group that I'm a part of. That's people talking about making money right now. So I think that's really conveniently timed in the middle of this. Literally, I just saw it came up on the screen and it's like somebody just made some money in there. So I'm like, yeah, aligning with the flow for us. That's beautiful. But yeah, so one of the things that, I used to get really stuck on, I think, years back when I was first practice managing and then first building my business was just things like, even my HECS debt seemed a bit overwhelming. So I'd block my business flow because I was like, oh, if my HECS liability kicks in because I make over that amount of money, then my life's going to get really stressful because I'm going to have this extra, I don't know, I imagined it was a huge amount of money that I was going to have to pay off extra every week, which is going to put a whole heap of extra pressure on me, which was going to mean I had to deliver more, which was going to do a little bit, and all of a sudden I was having panic attacks over how complex it was going to be. But here's the thing, when I actually just went and Googled what the HECS repayment was going to be for once I hit the liability, it really wasn't that bad. It wasn't that much. I just had to make it practical. And I just had to put it in terms, I just had to find out the exact amount and then think about the payment plan of that, of how I could just break it down into simple little options, right? And these tiny little amounts that suddenly didn't seem so overwhelming at all because I'd made it practical. So there's kind of one example. And flights and travel was another thing. When I was a teenager, I was just like, oh, that seems so ridiculously expensive. I don't know if I could do that. But then now if I looked in recent years, anytime I'm a bit like, oh, I don't know if I can do it, I just go to webjet.com.au or somewhere like that and I just Google flight prices and then I'm like, oh, see, actually, it doesn't actually cost that much to go to Bali or Hawaii or wherever it is that I want to go. And then once it seems more achievable, like to your brain, it becomes more believable as well as achievable. So it really helps if you go and do the actual, now the nuts and bolts kind of researchy side on what is it actually going to cost me to achieve those goals, and or if there is things like debts and bills, make sure you get the numbers and the exact amounts. Because as I was saying in one of my posts recently on my wall, when you're ordering from the website of life, of ordering, little bits of abundance, it really helps to be specific and pick specific products and talk about what color you want them to be and what size and give all those specific details before you submit your order and press send. So as then, the universe company of life can actually send that specific thing to you, right? It can put it in some little van and that van can then go put it somewhere and then Australia Post van brings it to you and it gets delivered, yeah? But if we're not specific about what it is that we need by actually getting into the nuts and bolts of the numbers of it, then the order never gets completed in a way. It's like they're kind of pending, going, okay, we need further information. So sometimes if we don't know, it can be good to go, okay, universe or higher self, please help me clarify what I need. But sometimes we just have to do the nuts and bolts research to find out exactly how much it is that we need. So we can then clearly say, okay, I require this. Yeah? Does that make sense? I hope that kind of helps and makes sense. So I imagine that's given you more than a little bit to think about today. But all needed. And if anything's come up around there that you'd like to talk about more, like I was saying, this is a part of what I've been doing in private coaching with women the last few years. One of the things I've been doing is mindset and breakthrough with people and energetic breakthrough to help you get past any of these blocks that are getting in the way of you being more of you in your business, that are getting in the way of you confidently putting yourself out there in the world and putting out for more of what you want in the world, as well as just getting in the way of the practical nuts and boltsy side of business and staying resilient through that and getting it all done, right? so that you can actually create the business, be of service in the ways that you want, and live the life that you want. So if I can help you around anything around that, feel free to send me a private message, because there are particular opportunities at the moment too that I reckon would be a great fit for some of you, which will help give you some support to break through this stuff and align more with exactly all this beautiful vision stuff that we're talking about. They would be just great, I think, but only if that resonates for you, because it may not be for everyone. So that's it, lovelies, for today. Thank you so much, as always, for joining me. It's always beautiful to have you sitting on these. Thanks so much, Angela, for being here. And to everyone else whose name hasn't popped up, but there's just been some of you coming through and beyond and back out again today. And thank you to all of you who will watch shortly in the future. Lots of love to you as well. And yeah, if there's anything else that I can do to support you or the group, just let me know. Big love. Hope to chat soon. And until next time, have fun. Take care. Mwah. Bye.